Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, cats and dogs, welcome to another episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. This is your boy Big Zeke. I'm here with my brother Dre.
What's good, homies? What's good?
I'm also here with my brother Kesey.
What's good, good peoples? What's good, good peoples?
What's good?
Welcome back to the 94 Feet.
Man, how y'all doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Crazy week in the NBA. How you doing, brother?
I wouldn't say that, but yeah, I'm doing all right.
I would.
You know what? I'm going to say a crazy week, but it's been entertaining to say the least. I'm going to start with a topic where we didn't chance to get to last week, but James Harden got his jersey retired by the Houston Rockets. I, for one, didn't see this coming. I see why they did it, but I didn't see this coming so early, especially this year. If they did it last year, I would be like, oh, okay. But seeing them do it this year, it just kind of, I don't even want to say a slap in the face, but it's one of those things where they don't have a lot to talk about. And to be honest with you, the way their record is looking after he left, James Harden did the right thing.
So, you mean to tell me they already retired James Harden number?
They're getting ready to.
Yeah.
They're getting ready to, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what
Do you actually believe he's deserving of that?
I'm going to tell you like this, fam. I am not fans of retiring players' numbers, especially if they don't win championships. I mean, let's just bring it home for a second. I remember when the Bucks drafted Giannis and they gave him number 34. And everybody was upset because that number represented Ray Allen. Well, Ray Allen wore 34. Yeah, but Ray Allen.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, but Ray Allen also left us, right? Even though he didn't want to, he left. He got traded, and he won championships elsewhere. James Harden did not win a championship. Not only did he not win a championship, he didn't come close to winning a championship. He was eliminated practically every year in the playoffs. Did he score a lot? Yes. That's because that's what James Harden does. So to give him the honor of retiring his jersey, especially after he broke up with y'all on national TV, that's what he did. He broke up with Houston like a side chick. Just say, I'm done with you. He carried them throughout the whole season, talking trash. He threw his team under the bus. He threw the ownership under the bus. And I think the best thing that Houston did was to trade him. Unfortunately, they traded him to another super team. But to me, he has not earned the honor of a jersey retirement.
Okay, what you just said is very true. I didn't even think about the whole Giannis and Ray Allen thing. But speaking of like a situation like Ray Allen, who gets – because Ray Allen is a great player. He does deserve his jersey retired. Where do you retire his jersey? Because he started in Seattle. He came to the Bucks. I'm sorry, he got drafted by the Bucks, and he went to Seattle, and then he ended his career in Miami. So who gets the honor of retiring that jersey?
I think for Ray Allen's sake, I think it's Boston. Because he had some of his best years in Boston. I mean, yeah, we had him in Milwaukee, and he's known for what? Getting us to Game 7, the year that the league screwed us out of the title against Allen Iverson and company.
Yeah.
You know, so he's known for that. But I think you have to retire him in Boston because when he joined KG and company, they brought the glory years back to Boston. He was near the end of his career with Miami. So James Harden has not earned a retirement, not with OKC, not with Houston, and certainly not with the Nets because he just got there. He has a lot of basketball to play. There is nothing should be retired about James Harden.
But what's bothering me most about it is they talking about retiring James Harden's jersey, yet Tracy McGrady's jersey has not made it in the rafters yet.
You better say it, brother. Come on.
I dumb ass down.
I'm saying no.
I just don't get it.
Tracy McGrady's a great player.
He changed the culture in Houston, bro.
His glory years were in Orlando.
No. His glory years were those years in Houston with Yao Ming. But I see Yao Ming's jersey is up in the rafters.
So this is on the organization. This isn't on the player. This is on the organization. I think that this is one of those LeBron moments. LeBron James he's in LA now. He's been in Miami.
Retired.
He's been in Cleveland.
Definitely retired.
So if James Harden comes back to Houston and he wins them the championship,
Well,
it's well deserved.
Then he earned it. Then he earned it.
So this is just too soon.
I don't think he deserves it at all because think about it like this. LeBron went back to Cleveland to reconcile, to deliver on a promise. He didn't break up with Cleveland the way James Harden did. Okay, the breakup was not the same.
The decision was embarrassing.
The decision raised money for the Boys and Girls Clubs. The decision raised money.
You're out of here because
it did.
It technically
did it not?
It actually did raise quite a bit.
Okay.
It raised millions. James Harden didn't do nothing but lose millions. He dogged Houston fans.
Even if it raised millions, it still was a slap in the face.
It wasn't a slap in the face. It was just immaturely done. Okay, it was immaturely done. What James Harden did was just a soap opera.
It was just immaturely done.
It was a soap opera. There's a difference.
Immaturely done.
James Harden is a veteran. When that happened to LeBron, he was still certainly young in his career. In fact, we call Cleveland his college years if we wanted to be technical.
He called it.
I just can't believe that they would even go there this after all he just done.
Seriously, I mean, do
they not remember Tracy McGrady scoring 13 points in like 30-some seconds?
Well, y'all remember that. I got YouTube too. I seen the highlights.
I mean,
so
is Kenny the Jet Smith's number retired
Let me
yet?
ask y'all this question.
Is his number retired yet from Houston?
No, it isn't. Let me ask y'all this
okay.
question.
Kenny is not retired.
Is
you
Vernon
talking about
Maxwell
James
retired?
Harden?
Let me ask y'all this question.
What is the
criteria? What is the criteria for a person to get his jersey retired for a particular team?
You know what? Go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
It has to be your accolades. What accolades does he have in Houston besides making the first or second round?
Do you see their record now?
Yes.
Do you see with James Harden? There are, as Andre like to say all the time, they're a lottery team. With James Harden, you're at least the Western Conference semifinals. I won't say the finals, the Western Conference semifinals.
But you know you're going to lose.
But what does the semifinals get you?
They get you,
mention.
Going home early and watching the
Nobody
NBA
remembers second, third. They only remember first.
So let me ask you a question. Like I said before, James Harden leaves, he comes back, wins them a championship. Is that a earned retired jersey?
No.
I think it's earned. I think it's earned.
Strictly off of the disrespect that he gave that organization, I wouldn't even be putting him in that category right now.
So you say he can never get his jersey retired in Houston? Never.
Not within the next 10 years.
10 years? He only got 5 left.
I think James Harden, in order to get the reward of retirement, I think James Harden has to leave the game of basketball for Houston to retire his jersey.
After he retires.
After he retires, they've reconciled. He's apologized. I mean, he took out a big ad in the paper.
10 years later.
I'm not saying it needs to be 10, but I'm saying like you announced it while he's still an active player. That's Michael Jordan status, right? That's Kobe had to leave the game of basketball and to get his numbers retired, both of them. James Harden is on a team that's probably going to beat you by 50 and you're going to retire his jersey as a reward and he's an active player. That is the most rushed crazy decision that I think Houston
But my
made.
thing is, Houston was not over the top good. They were decent with Harden. Tell me what about the Houston Rockets was over the top good when James Harden was there to make them want to retire his jersey?
I'll say this. This is what James Harden has done in Houston. James Harden has turned Houston into James Harden has always turned Houston into a contending team. Whether they come where they finish off, that's something different. But it's always been, hey, who's the top 5 teams in the West?
But
Houston is on that top.
But
5
outside of MVP candidate, what else do you hear about Houston in the papers or the news or ESPN?
You mean as far as them being a team?
Yeah.
I just told you they were a top 5 team with James Harden.
When analysts start analyzing like who's going to be this and that, do you hear them talk about Houston like that?
They used to.
No.
They used to.
No.
You know what they used to say? I'm gonna tell you why that's why, because they were always trying to find somebody to pair James Harden with to win the championship. Houston, where we need a point guard. No, we need a big man.
And he ruined it.
He ruined all that. I'm saying I agree with you. He ruined all that. But it's the point that they were still in this conversation of they're the top 5 teams of this. They're one of the top 5 teams in the West with James Harden.
If we're rewarding people based on top 5 teams and top 5 anything, then you should retire everybody's number. Robert Ory's number hasn't been retired anywhere, and he's Big Shop Rob, right? At least he won titles.
Don't act like James Harden wasn't the leader of Houston.
Listen, no one's denying that. James Harden is a baller. He will probably go down in history as one of the NBA's top 50 greatest players when they redo the number. All I'm saying is to give a person an honor of retiring their jersey while you're an active player and you brought this team nothing but misery the past 2 years, no titles. Playoffs is one thing. Everybody makes the playoffs. The Bucks have made the playoffs every year. Giannis is rocking Ray Allen's number, and guess whose numbers will get retired in Milwaukee? Giannis.
It will.
Not Ray Allen's. No matter what people might think, and I'm saying that to say James Harden didn't do enough for Houston to earn the retirement honor as an active player. That's all I'm saying.
I'm trying to figure out all of these players that can have their numbers up there in the rafters. They have not put them up there, but you're talking about James Harden still to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. I just think it's just a little bit too soon. I just think it's just too soon. They pulled it too soon.
They did.
But
they did.
Other than that, he does deserve some type of accolade. But I wouldn't say jersey retirement right now.
I mean, he
now.
won
Not
MVP during Houston years. He won MVP.
Exactly. Not this year, though. Not this year. But speaking of James,
that's an accolade.
But speaking of James Harden and his teammate Kyrie, these two guys have been brought into. There's whispers of these guys being brought into the MVP conversation.
Who's whispering that?
A lot of people are whispering. You know what? I'm not going to say whisper. I think people are using it as clickbait. I'll just say that.
That must be some people you know.
It's some people
I don't know none of that.
It's some people I know. I have my sources. So it's one of those things.
Stephen A.
It's one of those things. Well, hey, man, Stephen ain't the only nigga out here moving and shaking. So
there goes that label.
So
there goes that explicit label again.
So it's Kyrie Irving, and James Harden. They've been brought into the MVP conversation.
For what?
For what?
What do you mean? For what? For the league.
But I'm just saying, I'm asking you for what? Why are they being brought up?
Because they balling. They're ballers, as Draper like to say.
But I mean, when you put that many stars on the team, you're supposed to be doing what they doing.
Let me tell y'all something.
Let's put Kyrie back on Cleveland where he was at by himself, and let's see what everybody's talking about then.
Let me just ask you this
question. Let's take him back to Boston where he was at, and see if they're talking about
Kyrie
MVP.
Kyrie ain't never changed. Kyrie has doing what he do. The fantastic layups. He can go in. He can go out. He can shoot you over you. He's one of the most deadliest point guard ever.
One of the best.
When he's healthy. When he's healthy.
One of the best.
So my thing about that is that he just dropped 40 on Boston, and the thing about this is Brooklyn lost their biggest star, which is KD. He haven't been playing about 2 months.
I know it?
But
has it been 2 months already?
It's not been that long, but it's been a long
6 weeks.
time.
Like 6 weeks.
It's been a long time, and he's on my fantasy team. So
him and AD been about the same time then.
No. Don't do it.
No, I'm just saying. I wasn't trying to compare.
I know what you gonna do.
I was not.
I know what you finna do.
I was not.
You sure?
I just wanted to know.
You sure?
I'm trying to
so you're not gonna go there?
No, I'm just mentally thinking, man. They both been out quite a bit, and that's all I was thinking. I didn't even go no further than that.
I'm not gonna let you take it there. But what I'm saying is this: with KD was been hurt, Kyrie and James Harden has been holding this Brooklyn team together when they've been beating big teams.
Wait. I have to stop you, and I hate to interrupt you, but we're acting like Brooklyn was a broken team before they got there. They were not a broken team.
What do you mean broken team?
When Kyrie was out, when Kyrie was the only star, when him and Durant were out injured, Brooklyn wasn't doing terrible, right? They weren't terrible.
They was not.
They weren't terrible. In fact, they were competing for playoff basketball.
When who were out?
When Kyrie and KD, remember last season, right? They were out. Kyrie was hurt. Brooklyn wasn't doing terrible.
They didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, but still, no one.
They made the bubble, but they didn't make the playoffs.
Listen to me.
Mm-hmm.
When you have Kevin Durant on your team, in my opinion, you are never considered an MVP.
So hold on, what?
If you have Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden, why is any one of those three considered an MVP candidate when they're playing alongside each other? That's an automatic.
These two guys KD was supposed to be KD. He was supposed to be the KD show.
Yep.
And Kyrie and James Harden playing on the side.
Golden State 2.0.
Okay, so we had that. You take away Kevin Durant. With them still winning, you have to consider one of these two guys MVP candidate. You have to. Because
over who? Over who?
Over KD.
Okay.
Over KD.
I'll give you
and
that.
Even with even with James Harden, I hate to say that, even with James Harden, him coming on this team and pretty much putting up a triple-double every night and then leading to W's, you have to put him in the same consideration. Because if you're going to talk about Joker, if you're going to talk about
LeBron,
Embiid, if you're going to talk about those three guys,
Luka,
James Harden has to be in that conversation.
Steph Curry, how? Every single player.
Because think about it.
Steph
But
Curry.
hold on. Think about this though.
Go ahead.
When he was back in Golden State with Clay and Steph, was he in the MVP candidate?
No.
So why do you think they're supposed to be an MVP candidate?
Exactly.
Because
Wait a minute,
look how quick you said no though.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
Did you see how quick you said no to it?
yeah, I did say no to that because you had Steph Curry.
Because
you had Steph Curry.
But Kyrie Irving is on the same level as Steph.
Okay.
Clay is on the same level as James Harden.
I wouldn't say that, but I'll let it ride.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'll say that.
I don't know about that one, bro. I don't
Clay,
know.
matter of
James
fact,
Harden's put up triple-double.
As a matter of fact, Clay played better defense than him. Clay and Steph are going to go down in the history book as some of the greatest shooters in NBA history.
The greatest.
That's
One
true.
and
Think
two.
how good it was games Klay Thompson didn't miss shots.
Yeah, was that 60 points in a quarter or in 3 quarters or something like that? Yeah, so
Stop
okay.
playing with my boy name, man.
Okay.
No.
No, I get what you're saying. And you might be right about that. Okay, so you telling me neither one of these guys should be in the MVP conversation. That what
Talking about Kyrie and James Harden?
Yeah.
Based on who they play with, they should not. Okay?
Even without KD.
They should not. They are not having a better season than Joker. They're not having a better season than LeBron. They're not having a better season. Maybe stats, they're tip for tap. They're not having a better season, certainly, than Embiid. They're not having a better season than Steph. Now, remember, MVP is an individualized award, right? We know that. But you have to take in consideration superstars. I'm going to say it like this. If you say that James Harden and Kyrie should be in the conversation, what I'm going to say is LeBron should have won at least, 7 or 8 MVPs, if not more. Okay? Because it could be argued, yes or no, that LeBron should have won MVP every year he's been in the league except for the year he was injured.
No.
So, no.
No.
What are you smoking in your own words, right? Listen, LeBron, if he can't get it every year, the fact that James Harden and Kyrie are aligned with KD as a superstar should make them disqualified for the award. And you probably don't agree with me, but you shouldn't. You said it last week yourself. You said that if Brooklyn wins the title, if the Lakers win the title, you said Steve Kerr should have been in the back of the photo. You said that.
I did say that.
Bruh. KD, Kyrie, and Harden should be nowhere near the MVP.
We're not, because here's the thing.
Nowhere.
Here's the thing. When you talk about, like, when you say, I did say that last week, and I'll say it this week. Steve Nash ain't doing nothing. Steve Nash ain't doing shit. He over there. Hey, guys, I want to run this play, I want to run this give and go. They're like, all right, cool. Kyrie at the beginning of the season said, we don't need a coach. He wasn't lying. What I'm saying is this, though. When your superstar goes down, KD is a superstar. We all understand that. When he goes down and his other players are picking it up at this level, you have to take a look at them. I'm not saying they should win it. I'm saying they should be in the conversation because KD is no longer in the conversation. Steph Curry is barely in the conversation. So I think these guys should be at least thought about in the conversation.
I disagree. I don't think their season has been transformational. Joker has done a wonder this season. Embiid has been a wonder this season. LeBron is doing it by himself as Anthony Davis is hurt. It has not been a hard task for Harden or Irving this season, in my opinion.
I mean, I beg to differ. I think that if you take away, because if they hadn't traded for James Harden, where would Brooklyn be?
So let me ask you this: since you are putting Kyrie and Harden in the discussion, who are you getting rid of? Who are you getting rid of? Who do they replace?
Steph Curry and.
Are you kidding me? As much as I don't want to say Steph Curry, he is putting up MVP caliber numbers.
That's because you hate on him so much. You were tongue tied. That's why. Stop hating.
Jesus don't like onion. Jesus don't like it.
Don't hate. Steph
Jesus
Curry
don't like it.
is a baller. So go ahead, finish. Steph Curry.
Somebody play the cricket noise.
Every time Dre talk about Andre, I just hear Kesey going.
I'm just saying, man. I mean, show Steph Curry some respect.
You got to give the boy some respect, though.
I
to
give
be
him
honest,
some respect. I'm just saying, you take away Kyrie, you take away James Harden from where Brooklyn would be at, and so when you they have this triple threat, they have these three monsters, and they're taking advantage of it. So why, with KD being out as much as he has, and I don't see him returning until April, maybe late middle April. So exactly. So with that being said, Brooklyn's going to end up one of these top three teams in the league.
Top four.
So why wouldn't you bring one of their top players in the conversation?
Because you still have Kyrie Irving and you still have James Harden. You still have two superstars.
So they can't be in the conversation.
They should not be in the conversation. They should not. Everyone above them, okay, Joel Embiid, who arguably is in number one for MVP, he just got hurt. Ben Simmons has not contributed great to Philly this season. He has not.
We're going to find out.
Okay? LeBron has done it without Anthony Davis for several weeks. Joker, he has
Murray.
He has, I'm sorry?
He has Murray.
He has Murray, but who's been killing it this year?
Joker,
right?
Most of the Robins that go with the Batmans in the league have not been showing up this year if you look around.
Listen. Kyrie Irving is a baller. You know he's one of my favorite point guards. My second favorite point guard in the game right now. James Harden will be James Harden. Okay, there is nothing different about what either of those players are doing. If it was just James Harden taking Brooklyn to number one or number two, then let's talk about MVP race. Maybe. But these cats are superstars who are just supposed to win. There is no MVP for either of them, in my opinion. No.
But they're not winning because they're doing MVP things. They're just winning just because they can score. They're outscoring everybody. They're not really locking anybody up. They're not playing good D. And if you look at their defensive efficiency, they're probably the worst in the league.
They are.
They're terrible. It's non-existent. It's non-existent.
I mean, their goal is to just outscore you.
But we know Harden can score. That's all he can do. He can score. He ain't going to play no D. We know Kyrie ain't going to play no D, but he can score.
Okay,
Kyrie will lock you up. Are you kidding me? He'll play D before Harden. Are you kidding me? You can press whatever you want, okay, but Kyrie will hold some D. Y'all are crazy. Y'all better go watch. That's why it didn't work.
Dumbass.
That's why it didn't work. That's why it didn't work.
When you seen Kyrie play some D?
Man, Kyrie plays D.
When?
Okay? He doesn't play it often, but he plays it more than Harden. He plays it more than Harden.
What? Neither one of those guys.
So
play
Kyrie Irving doesn't hold more defense than James Harden.
Look, I'll say it like this, then.
But that's why they're
a dime is bigger than a penny. That don't mean it's significantly bigger.
It's not bigger. It has greater value. If that's what you're trying to say.
That's what he's saying.
Well, that's not what he said.
That's not what I said.
That's not what he said.
That analogy was kind of fucked up. I'm glad you done. That wasn't a good analogy.
That was not a good one. No, not at all.
The point was the man.
Not at all.
The point I'm trying to make was
not at all.
Neither one of those things.
He got his words twisted. That's all.
Oh, now we got his word twisted.
He got his word twisted.
But Kyrie
I know what
he
meant.
MVP conversation, but he got his words twisted. All I'm saying, listen,
my real brother was holding it down.
Wow. So now I'm a fake brother. Well,
if you talking that bull, we gonna call you Kyrie. He's not even on the third defensive team.
I didn't say that he was. I said Kyrie holds more defense than James Harden. Okay, listen. Don't pick and choose. Don't pick and choose what you want to hear. Don't have selective hearing with me.
Right.
Okay, I said Kyrie holds more defense than Harden. Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Okay. Kesey, where's the lie?
I don't really see it, but I guess I'll go along with you.
I mean, this is the thing.
Listen, one of our fans said barely, but still, if I give you that dime over that penny, you barely have more money. But guess what? That dime is still more than that penny.
But not when you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. That dime is still more than that penny. So that defense that Kyrie plays, and hold up.
We ain't got nothing for this.
Hold
we ain't
up.
got nothing for this. We ain't got nothing for this.
Hold up. And let me just add this. One more thing, and I promise I'll stop. Let's not forget that Kyrie Irving is a champion, and James Harden is not.
And let's not forget, Kyrie is a champion because of who?
That 3-pointer he made in the game? I'm just kidding.
That's true. That's true.
That 3-pointer he made?
But LeBron carried him all 4 quarters up to that 3-pointer. What else do you want him to do?
LeBron James is the GOAT. We know this. But all I'm saying, and LeBron versus the world, great title, my brother. I'm going to have to give it to you because we ain't even that far into it yet. But all I'm saying is, man, y'all need to get up off of Kyrie and acting like, okay, I'm going to stop. I'm done.
You go ahead. You on the roll.
He is defending Kyrie today.
I have to defend Kyrie because of the statement.
You put some money in your pocket this weekend?
I didn't get that stimmy yet.
He gave you extra stimmy? He gave you extra stimmy,
I didn't get it yet. Shout out to Joe Biden. I didn't get that. Uncle Joe came through, but he will. No. All I'm saying is, man, when you look at, if I have to pick, Kyrie would get more consideration for MVP than Harden. If I had to pick. Only because we know Harden's a better scorer, but you talk about, and the Nets don't play defense, and that's what got us talking about this. Kyrie's a better defender than James Harden, and I'm sticking to that every time.
Okay. Listen, I agree to some extent, but at the same time, I don't see them making anybody else around them better. They're just scoring. So how can they be an MVP?
The triple-double says different. His triple-double.
But it's easy to be a stat sheet stuffer. That's easy to do. Yeah. Russell Westbrook does it.
Yeah.
On a nightly basis.
And loses.
And
often.
loses.
And loses often.
The only reason Harden is probably winning is because he got Kyrie that can put up some buckets with him.
Yeah, that's true. I will give you that.
Because that was an issue in Houston, too, when he was there.
Yeah.
He was getting triple-doubles, but they was getting losses behind him.
Okay. I agree with both y'all. I mean, Dre made the valuable point defending his boy Kyrie. We ain't really had nothing for it. So, there's really nothing to say there. I mean, there's really nothing to say there. He got it. He got it. And when somebody give it to you, I'm going to let it ride.
So one of our listeners says it's more like 2 pennies over a penny, but that 2 pennies is still more than that one. Okay? Yeah. It's still more.
It's barely over, but it's over. I mean, maybe that.
Gee, LeBron, you barely won that championship when Draymond got suspended. But guess what? You still got that ring.
Yeah, that's very true. Maybe that's why they picked up Blake Griffin.
Oh,
so
God.
Moving into our next topic, Blake Griffin joins the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh my,
and
my.
Me, I could give a damn. I could really give a damn because this isn't jump over the gym. Jump out the gym, Blake Griffin. This isn't dunk contest, Blake Griffin. This isn't Lob City, Blake Griffin. This is Detroit Pistons. Always bad knees. Now he's starting to shoot jumpers and 3-pointers, Blake Griffin. The fact that they added him and the fact that the buyout for him was giving up $13.3 million to sign a 1 point something veteran minimum. So it's just one of them things where I'm like people made this a big news. I think people made this a big news because it's clickbait. It's one of those things where it's nice to talk about. Like, man, remember when Blake Griffin did this and Blake Griffin did that? I don't care.
So you don't think
what have you done for me lately?
So you don't think he has any value at all anymore?
No.
Oh, since we can't have the button.
I'm with Dre on this one, man. He got a little bit of value, but at the same time,
you didn't say you were with me because I didn't say that he had value. I just asked a question.
Oh, so you ain't saying he ain't got no value?
I didn't speak.
So
what
you saying?
I want you to go first.
No, I'm saying by your tone.
Say it.
by your tone, you trying to say he ain't got.
By your tone,
you trying to say he got a little value?
Go ahead, Brother Davis.
Here you go. Here you go.
Go ahead, Casey.
I think Blake went to Brooklyn as a safe choice.
I As a safe choice, as far as you mean, just
It's safe all the way across the board for him, whether he win or lose, is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So if he lose, he's still safe to still be able to get another contract. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that Blake's best contract years are over.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that Blake Griffin, I'm going to agree with my brother here, my brother Kesey. I think that Blake Griffin signing with Brooklyn was his easiest path to a championship. I think when you look at the rosters in the NBA, if you're going to sign with a team right now to try to win a championship, why not Brooklyn? Why not Brooklyn?
That's very true.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead and finish.
And so I think for Blake Griffin, it's KD. Who wouldn't want to play with KD? It's James Harden. Who wouldn't want to play with James Harden, right? It's Kyrie. When this team is healthy, no one can stop them. No one can stop them.
But at the same time,
I get what you're saying, Dre. But it's just one of them things where that may be true, and like just Blake Griffin specifically, it's one of them things where like I think they have a lot of players on the Brooklyn squad where there's a lot of nostalgia going on there. And when you have a lot of nostalgia going on there with guys, whatever, every time they bring in somebody, it's like, ooh.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, this is the old Blake Griffin. And this is one of them things where like he not I don't even know, I don't see how he's going to contribute to this roster besides just being a body that can give you maybe like 10, 15 minutes.
He'll play off the bench. He'll play off the bench.
Oh, that's very true.
He'll be the player off the bench that can maybe keep your team in the game.
But one thing I say about Blake is though, he's not a flopper or nothing like that. He can finish at the same time. So don't count him all the way out. He still got a couple of years left in him. But it ain't no Clippers moments no more.
Exactly.
Is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
But at the same time, he can be a good helping piece.
He can be a good helping piece, but it's not like Brooklyn needs him. It's not like Brooklyn needs him. This is what I'll say. And this might be a bold statement. Considering where Blake has been, the injuries and the years he's had, I can see him winning the championship with Brooklyn and riding off into the sunset.
Retirement?
I can see him saying, basketball, I owe you nothing else. I was a slam dunk champion. I was a double-double walking until my injury. I'm still injured when I look at a basketball, pass the ball. Oops, I hurt myself. I can see that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I can totally see that. But I can see Blake Griffin literally saying, once I win my championship with Brooklyn, and based on stats and based on their team, they should easily win it. I can see him riding off into the sunset. So I think it was a great move. I don't think people should be hyped up about it because Brooklyn doesn't need him.
Well, he sure can ride into the sunset without a ring this year. I'll tell you that.
Here we go.
Hey.
It's one of them things where like a lot of veterans are starting now to like pick sides. You going to LA or you going to Brooklyn? I think Brooklyn's one of those teams where like, hey, we got the cap room. If you want to sign for a minimum, I'm not tripping. Let's do that. And I think that's one of those things that's like going around the league. One thing I do find funny is that a lot of free agents like Blake Griffin are headed towards Brooklyn instead of heading to Los Angeles. Now, I may be tripping. I may not know what's going on in LA. But the fact that a lot of these moves are made with LeBron's permission. And I think LeBron is looking at some of these guys like, we don't need you. You cool. I like you as a guy. We can kick it. But besides that, I don't really need you.
I don't think it's that. Don't you dare put that on my boy name.
What is it?
We already know what it is.
Oh God, what is it?
Everybody can't handle the pressure that comes behind playing with LeBron James.
The pressure? Oh, the pressure of what? Dancing on the sidelines when you kicking it when LeBron them scoring, you on the sidelines dancing? That's all the pressure.
No matter what nobody else does in this league, LeBron is always going to be the top of the discussion.
He is. He is.
No matter what you talk about. No, you could talk about all the KD rings he got in Golden State, and they still going to bring up LeBron James in that conversation somehow, some way.
So let me ask you, so why is people headed to Brooklyn instead of headed to LA?
Because it's the easy road
It's
out.
the easiest way to win. I mean, Dame Dollar says it all the time. He said, he tweeted when players are signing with each other, he tweets and say, how does he say, you boys soft?
You boys soft, you bandwagoning.
He said, you boys soft. It's an easy win.
But they think it's an easy win. Because when you come into the finals against Lebron James.
The fact that you keep on calling him LeBron James. like a European tourist. LeBron James? It's hilarious to me. But, I mean, I think that when you have a fully loaded team, because LeBron did lose to Golden State. He lost to him twice.
Yeah.
So a fully loaded Brooklyn team.
Terribly, I might add.
Yeah, a fully loaded Brooklyn team, whether they adding bodies or not, might be what it needs to be to win a championship.
Can I say this about Kevin Durant and all you KD fans? I don't care what you think, but notice what happened when LeBron beat Golden State for the championship.
What about it?
Kevin Durant joined Golden State. Mm-hmm. When LeBron won the championship, a couple years ago or just last season, KD lured in James Harden, right?
Well, Kyrie first and then.
So KD always builds monster teams every time LeBron wins something. Mm-hmm. And so maybe it's KD knows that he needs more help to beat LeBron.
I mean, that could be possibly true. I think that the last time KD actually faced LeBron, KD was younger and LeBron was at his prime. So I don't think a prime Kevin Durant and a prime LeBron James have ever faced each other where it was all on their shoulders. Golden State I don't count because it was mostly, when Kevin Durant was with Golden State, it was so many areas that they would really kill us in. They could kill you in. It was Steph Curry, it was the splash, it was Klay Thompson. It was like Kevin Durant. Even though as much as Steph Curry and them hyped him up, he was still the third member. The third member of that trio. He wasn't the number one guy. And with the Brooklyn situation, let's say KD gets hurt and he is not able to make the finals, they don't have a shot without him. And I think this is one of the rare occasions.
You said the Nets don't have a shot to win it without KD?
Yeah, without KD, they don't have a shot to win it.
I kind of agree. And the one thing that separates Brooklyn from the Golden State Warriors, though, is that one horse that makes everybody go. And we all know who that horse was that made everybody go in Golden State.
Steph Curry?
No.
Who?
KD.
No.
Cool.
You better not say it.
It was Draymond.
Oh, God.
Draymond Green?
It's not, because listen, hold on, let me finish. Let
him finish, but still.
Go ahead and finish.
Because in the playoffs, you play a lot more defense than you play in the regular season.
You do.
That's very true.
Draymond set up that defensive standards that brought everybody's defensive standards from here to here.
So
if you don't have that player that brings y'all team defense from here to here in the playoffs, how are you expected to win? Because when the Lakers got in the finals, AD brought their defensive standard from here to here. That's how you win.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, you made a very, very compelling argument, but again, I think people see Brooklyn as the easy way out. I mean, I'm watching Andre Drummond. I wouldn't be surprised if he signs a measly deal because remember, when they take buyouts, they can't sign big contracts anyway.
That's right.
They can't sign big contracts anyway. So if I have a chance to play 40 games and win a ship, but what's interesting is what you said, you don't think that they could win without KD. That's a different perspective.
They going over there to Brooklyn because they don't want to take the scrutiny that comes behind playing with LeBron. Because when you play with LeBron,
LeBron has to be perfect.
You are held to a whole new level of standards.
Perfect.
Who holds these people to this standard? The media and the fans or LeBron?
The fans.
The fans and the media.
World. I mean, Skip Bayless, and we're talking about Skip Bayless on our podcast. Have you ever heard the way he goes in on LeBron?
He does. He should.
I mean, he goes in on LeBron and Aaron Rodgers more than any player ever.
Because all these guys don't get the smoke. Everybody be kissing their ass. I ain't finna be kissing your ass. I don't care who you is. You finna catch your smoke. LeBron, Aaron Rodgers, all these brothers.
Listen.
Well, all these motherfuckers gonna catch all this smoke.
Listen, LeBron James, since the moment he came into the league, because the Jordan era fans, and I'm one of them, don't want to let Jordan off that pedestal of greatness. LeBron could score 50, and they would say he should have scored 60. LeBron could have. Go ahead.
Automatically.
LeBron could have a triple-double, and somebody should have said he should have had a quadruple-double.
That's only if something happens. If you lose the game, that's for any player though. But if you have a triple-double and you lose the game, and because right now LeBron James is chasing legacy. He's chasing Jordan. He's chasing Bill Russell. He's chasing all these great guys. He's chasing the Mount Rushmore of players.
I don't think he's chasing.
I think he is chasing because somebody is always comparing him to these guys. So when you talk about joining Brooklyn just to take him down and so on, I'm not mad at it. Now, KD is a little too late to as far as one of those things where like I'm not going to join him, I'm going to beat him. He a little too late on that because the whole point of him joining the Brooklyn Nets was to take that because people were saying this is still Steph's team. I don't care how much you do, I don't care what you do, it's still Steph's team. So when you take away the whole start of the Brooklyn Nets and their I don't want to say dynasty, but their superstar team is the whole point of that is to beat LeBron. It's for him to take him off that pedestal. So when you talk about one of the greats, or when even the greats talk about the current guys like Michael Jordan, there's an interview clip of him saying, who you think who's better, KD or LeBron? He's joking like, KD. He was like, no, I'm joking. It's LeBron. And when we talk about that, we all say LeBron's the GOAT, and we all say LeBron's such and such. But what if KD is building something over there in Brooklyn where I'm taking the crown back and I'm holding it for myself?
But you can't take the crown from somebody who has earned it.
KD has not earned his crown.
If he wins it this year, will he earn his crown?
No.
If he wins it next year, will he earn his crown?
No.
Triple.
No. KD.
The accolades that LeBron has set and standards he has set for the next one to be that next role that takes over after him, you're going to have to do something way better than what KD is doing and bringing in 3 or 4 superstars with him.
I know y'all hate to hear this, but LeBron, correct me if I'm wrong, only has 4 championships, correct?
So Robert Horry has 7. Is he better than Mike?
No.
Okay. So what was the whole point of bringing up the championship?
The whole point of me bringing the championships you're not Robert Horry. That's a good one, but not. Come on, you know what I'm talking about here. We're talking about
Bill Russell has
we're talking
11.
About,
do people call him the greatest?
Yeah.
No, they don't. I've never heard anyone call Bill Russell the greatest. When you talk about the
50th greatest players, he's on the list for at least top
but at the same
but
time,
at least so is Charles Barkley.
LeBron has 4. He's still considered
10.
number 2.
He's not top 10, but he's still top 50.
What that mean? I'm talking about top 10 here. We're talking about one of the greatest basketball players. Let me just finish here. What I'm saying is this: if you pass LeBron in championships, you have to talk about him being one of the greatest. Because, hold on a second now, you're talking about they're in the same area. They're in the same class. So what put Jordan above the rest of the guys in his class? Championships. He has 6, 2 3-peats. So it's more than Karl Malone. It's more than Charles Barkley. It's more than Magic Johnson. It's more than Larry Bird. He's in this class.
But the one thing that brings Kevin Durant's championships down is he joined a team that was winning chips before he got there.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
He joined a team that was winning 60-plus games. He joined the team that beat them.
You forgot LeBron joined Dwayne Wade and them because they were tired of getting beat. So LeBron went there to bring them to that next level. Then he went back to Cleveland with a garbage list team.
And made it to the finals, 3 years in a row?
And still brought a championship back there.
Right. Okay, so here's why I'm going to say KD will never be on the level of LeBron to just kind of close out this free agency thing. KD joined the best team since the Chicago Bulls to win his 2 championships. He joined up with Kyrie, which I have no problems with. I have no problems with 2 superstars on the team. But then you added James Harden to the mix. So in my opinion, he hasn't had to work for any of his championships. He hasn't had to work for them. LeBron had to bust his behind for all 4 of those titles that he's won.
Even in Miami?
He's had to bust. Remember, they lost to Dallas that year. Okay, people were saying not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. Come on, man. They lost to Dallas. They lost to Dirk.
So I'm gonna ask you this question, Dan. If you're a free agent and you're a free agent about to get bought out, you're a veteran, maybe 10, 15 years in the league.
Yep.
Where are you going, LA or Brooklyn?
I'm going to Brooklyn to win the title.
I'm going to play with LeBron.
I'm going to Brooklyn because remember, every superstar or player wants to. I mean, we watch Inside the NBA, and I swear, Charles Barkley feels like he's gonna cry every time we talk about a title because he never won one, thanks to Michael Jordan. And so if I'm 15 years in the league, Zeke, and you be like, Dre, we know you want to win a title, just sign with the best team. I'm going to always go with the best team because I want to win a title.
But who says Brooklyn is the best team? What makes them better than the Lakers?
Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving.
But Kevin Durant hasn't been able to prove he can win a championship without Golden State, without Clay and Steph.
I feel that.
And this is his opportunity. I wouldn't even say because of Kevin Durant. I'll say because of I might even go back to our conversation about being considered MVP, but Kyrie Irving is on a mission.
He is on a mission.
He is on a mission to beat LeBron in an NBA Finals. Yep. He is on a mission because he shows up. Because that's when he shows up. He shows up with the big game.
They just want to be in the finals because everybody leave the West to head back over East so that they don't have to face LeBron before the finals.
Yep.
Have you not noticed that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've noticed it.
Yep.
I'm just asking the question.
Why you think KD left and went back East? Why would you go to the East when you could have stayed where you were and you still was a championship caliber team?
In Golden State?
Yes.
No, if he'd have stayed in Golden State, just like y'all just tarnished his legacy right now, they've been still tarnishing his legacy.
It should have been.
And I'm not saying it's well deserved. I'm not saying it's well deserved. What I'm saying is he left Brooklyn to start over and to start something to possibly pass LeBron. Now, will that always be a little garnish on his career? There'll always be a little garnish on his career. Like, hey, you joined a super team. What are you doing with yourself? But what I'm saying is he did that to beat LeBron. So, back to the original question, as far as like a free agent, and like Dre said, I'm going to the best team, and Brooklyn is loaded. Blake Griffin means nothing. But besides Blake Griffin, they're loaded. Because you talk about who going to hold this person, who going to hold this person, who going to hold this person. LeBron James is a very intense person. I mean, it's very like lockdown defense. They got Dennis Schroeder, and they got I don't want to say loaded team, but at the beginning of the season, the Lakers were loaded. Now teams are seeing, Anthony Davis is hurt. Oh, y'all losing games without Anthony Davis. Yeah, he's one person. We need to load up because he's a body. Because guess what? I think I said this before, Anthony Davis is hurt. It's going to take him a little while to get back in the swing of things.
Agreed.
Anthony Davis has a history of being hurt. If he gets hurt in the playoffs, you might well call it a wrap with a team that might even make the NBA Finals. The West is stacked. Utah.
But that's why they went. That's why they went out East because they knew it's an easier road to the finals.
Yep.
At least they think it's an easier road.
They think it's an easier road. It looks easier. East is always wide open.
But the way it's looking right now, Philly is tough.
Depending on Embiid's results.
Milwaukee is getting tougher.
We went silence for a reason. But I just think
you know what? Y'all ain't gonna keep disrespecting the Bucks like that.
We're not disrespecting the Bucks. We can sit down and talk about the Bucks.
They are not that bad, man.
Look, we can talk about the Bucks.
They are not that bad. Come on, give them a break.
For another day.
Give them a break.
That's another story for another day. We can talk about the Bucks.
But at the same time, it's still an easier road in the East to the finals.
It is an easier road. It's always an open road.
Always.
So they thought, since LeBron always had an easy road to the finals in the East, let me go to the East and have an easy road to the finals. Because they already know the West is stacked.
What's the stat?
Because if you get Utah, that's going to be a tough 7 games.
Yep.
You get the Lakers, it's going to be a tough 7 games.
Yep.
Yeah, I get. I mean,
You get anybody in the West, it's going to be a tough 7 games to start out the playoffs.
It'll be competitive, that's for sure.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. I just know that sometimes it does. It might take a loaded team to beat LeBron. To take this on more of a
Jesus is going to have to come back.
to switch this to more of a serious moment. Unfortunately, this week we had an incident with Myers Leonard saying some symptomatic comments on his Twitch.
We're not laughing at the comments that he made. Trust, you got to be in the studio to know what we're laughing at. So we wasn't laughing at the comments.
Inside jokes.
Yes, I want to be clear on that because people are listening.
I'm always the butt of those
we
jokes.
are laughing at inside jokes, not the comments he made. I just want to make that very clear.
The comments that he made got him fined $50,000.
50 G's, woo,
and suspended for a week.
Week suspension.
Does that $50,000 go to charity?
That $50,000 goes to the NBA, and I don't know what they do with their fine.
Well, remember they just started the NBA Cares, and they're funding a lot of stuff in the community. They are funding a lot of stuff in the community. I don't know what they do with their fine money, but like a business, NBA is doing their part in the community.
So my question for y'all is this, because to be really honest with you, this guy, I've seen him in the past, and he was one of those guys where the whole team was kneeling and he was standing up because his brother was in the military. Bullshit. So I looked at him as a racist a long time ago. So for him to say these comments on his Twitch and for him to get fined $50,000 to just miss a week, I thought it was kind of light. They looked into this. They're doing an investigation. I don't even know what that means. It's a clear video. Somebody posted it on YouTube. It was everywhere. But I think the punishment was real light. And I think he has to go to some class and stuff like that. I just was wondering when I seen this, like, if you had said nigger, would we be more in arms, and would you, like, does the punishment fit the crime? That's the question.
My thing is, I don't know if it would have played out different if he would have said that. But at the same time, who sets the standards for what the rules and what the punishment is going to be for that?
I mean, every time this happens, it's one of those things where I think that the backlash equivalents to what kind of punishment you're going to get into. Because I just think it's one of those things where how racist you get or how the slur is reacted to is how much you get fined and how much you get suspended. Me, on the other hand, I would have kind of liked to seen a little bit harsher punishment. Like, we're gonna suspend him until further notice. That could be a month. That could be 2 weeks. I want to see him maybe do some. We're gonna find him $100,000 and we're gonna send it to an organization where it can be help that organization, so on and so forth.
So you wanted him canceled? So are you?
I don't want to say cancel. I don't believe in cancel culture. I just want to be a little bit more.
My only thing is, how is he going to be accepted back to the team? Like, are your teammates going to still have your back the way they would after you say something like that? After you offend so many different people around that organization, how does it feel to even come back?
I mean, that's another one of those things, and for his if you don't know, it's more of it's a Jewish slur that is seen well in the Jewish community. But if for you, like a lot of owners, a lot of people with powerful backing is one of those things where they are very offended by these words. I mean, to be completely honest, this is why Nick Cannon got canceled for stuff like this, for saying that type of rhetoric. I know that he lost his Twitch account. He lost a couple other endorsements, but I don't want this to be a thing where he gets fined $50,000 and then suspended for a week, and then a month later he's all good to go.
So the reason there was a pause there is because it's like we came in talking about this, and we're letting you all into our very private lives. Zeke, Kesey, and I are brothers, and we have been for most of our lives. And we even debated talking about this. And I'm saying this for a reason, because we are such a cancel culture oriented society, and growing up in church, we were always taught what's done in the dark comes to the light. So why are people surprised about something that he said that just happened to be taped? I'm not saying that the man's a racist. I'm not saying that he even meant to say what he said. But if history shows us anything, you don't accidentally slip up and say things.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
You don't accidentally slip up and say things, okay?
You don't.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Let me finish. You don't accidentally slip up and say things. If you called me the N-word, you were somehow thinking that in the back of your mind at some point that I want to say this word.
That's already in your rhetoric.
So basically, you've been wanting to say it. You were just waiting on the opportunity.
You just been waiting on the opportunity.
So he been wanting to use that. He just got caught. Saw the opportunity to use it, and he used it, and he got caught.
And I'm not saying that. And I think we need to respect everybody's boundaries. I don't use the N-word as a black man. And so when to Zeke's point, when he talks about when Zeke talks about how he doesn't want this to be a slap on the wrist, I agree, because again, we've seen a lot more cruel punishments to black athletes when they do things that aren't what's up or offensive. So
yeah, that's why I was just so surprised, because even though the punishment came quickly, it wasn't like a swift punishment. It wasn't like a hard punishment. It was one of those things where it was just like you said before, like a little slap on the wrist. I mean, I think that when it comes to these derogatory terms, you're right. Everybody has their hard things, but for him, as quickly. First of all, he's stupid because he said it on a Twitch, a public platform.
A public platform,
and
playing
then
a
on
video
top,
game.
yeah, and then on top of that, he thought from the clip it was cool to him. Like, he didn't think nothing of it, and then he got a phone call, and he was like, "Oh shit, I gotta go." I gotta go because this is just to fuck me in the game. So it's one of them situations where, like you said before, it's already in his rhetoric. He said it probably around his friends. He said it probably around his family. He has other family members and stuff like that. And so I just thought that even though the punishment was quickly, and then sometimes when a punishment is given out quickly, we don't think about what kind of punishment it is. So like $50,000 is in the bucket for an NBA player. It really is. And like I said before in the beginning, that this guy always seemed to me, fuck it, I'll say it, he's racist. Like, if you sitting there if you can't kneel with your brothers and understand what we kneeling for, because you talking about my brothers in the military, and that's your excuse, I have something really. It's the NBA
it's the NBA trying to sweep up under the rug. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those situations for me. Like, he said it, and they like, all right, we heard he said it. Let's find him. Let's suspend him. Let's get it over with, and let's move on. But there have been African American athletes who have been banned from the league for lesser things. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying is, like, hold them accountable for it.
Yeah, that's very true. And speaking of accountable, Patrick Ewing apparently is not being held accountable. I wouldn't say accountable. I would say he's not being recognized in Madison Square Garden, and he has a real issue with it. I think that it's one of those things where Patrick Ewing is, like any NBA player that's been playing in the league, especially just for one team, maybe other teams, but majority of his career was spent in New York, and what I'm saying, he talking about, I built this stadium and stuff like that, and I don't think he was like mad about it. I think it was just one of those things where, like, again, just like they did Oakley, just like they've done to Spike Lee, like, you have these guys who are maybe contributors to this Pacific Stadium and how it's being dealt with and stuff like that, and they're just kind of like tossed to the side, like they're not who they are. What do you guys think about this? Is this a big deal or no?
To me,
God, our egos are so fragile.
Listen, I'm gonna take it as a sign of disrespect if I was him. You get what I'm saying? Like, when you think of the Knicks, who do you think of?
Patrick Ewing. Spike Lee.
Charles Oakley.
Spike Lee don't count, man. Shut up.
I'm just saying.
Spike Lee, Charles Oakley.
Yeah.
These are faces you are used to seeing in the Garden, but I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
When you say the Garden, the first name that automatically comes up in everybody's mind is Patrick Ewing.
Number 33.
How do you not recognize who Patrick Ewing is?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not from New York, but if
we understand that, money.
I get that, son. So this is what I'm saying, though. New York is known for a city. Is known for a city of what have you done for me lately, and not only what have you done for me lately. Who the fuck are you? Patrick Ewing said some bold things during his press conference. You talking about somebody who I built this stadium. Oh, Patrick Ewing, you lost this stadium. You lost this. Like, so many memories of Patrick Ewing is of him dropping the ball when it counts. When he missed the layup and they didn't go to the NBA Finals. When he was like when Chicago was just locking him down, him getting blocked by Jordan from behind. Like, all these memories of Patrick Ewing aren't these memories that he's talking about. Man, I want MVPs, Defensive Player Awards. No, you lost in this stadium. A lot
of people lost during that era because of Michael Jordan.
You've lost millions of dollars for bettors. So you're talking about, and you're right. A lot of people lost the NBA. Lots of people have lost like championships because of Michael Jordan. But you don't hear him talking about this. Charles Barkley he don't come into Phoenix like, man, y'all should recognize me. I'm Charles Barkley. We know you
because they probably recognize him when he walked through the door.
You know why they know him?
Yo, Charles, come on, bro, come on.
Hey, you know why they know him? Because he's part of the media. Where's Patrick Ewing at? He coached at Georgetown. I don't care about no damn Georgetown.
Listen, man, Patrick Ewing deserves the respect of. You are such a jerk.
But did you see how they just
such a jerk
care about Georgetown?
Listen, Patrick Ewing deserves the respect that you give great players. Patrick Ewing was a great player in New York. So the least you could do is recognize the man. But, I mean, I think his ego is more embarrassed and fragile than anything. Like, you mean to tell me I have to wait here and go through security? Well, yes, you do, sir. You absolutely do. Hit the Knicks. Go ahead.
You cannot treat Patrick Ewing like that when he comes to Madison Square Garden. That's just like
say it.
That's just like the Bucks treating Glenn Robinson like that when he walked in the door.
We would.
You would?
Yeah, I would take him right up to the dog pound that doesn't exist anymore. Like, Glenn Robinson didn't do nothing for us.
The big dog Yankees what got us to the playoffs.
Man, shut up, man.
Big dog, Ray Allen.
Our producer just weighed in. He just come on to the table.
He couldn't even.
Come on to the table.
He couldn't even skip that topic.
Tone Deaf is over there recording. You brought the man into the conversation because he knew how stupid that was. Okay. So let me just say this.
But see, that just to show you how much people don't respect these players once they're done.
That's
all that is.
I'm just saying win a championship. I'm just saying win a championship. If you win the championship, that's how you get my respect. Michael Jordan can walk any place in Chicago. He ain't even in Chicago. He in Charlotte. He can walk any place in Chicago and get free food. Can walk past security, no problem.
Let's not use him ever to compare anything Patrick Ewing's ever done. Let's start there.
So
okay,
that goes back to my point.
That's why I went to Glenn Robinson.
Okay, so I'm going to talk to you for the rest of the podcast.
What do you think?
Okay,
you know what?
Stop talking.
So you telling me what you trying to say?
Can I finish?
No, what you trying to say?
Move away from the mic.
I ain't moving nowhere. What you gonna make me move?
Listen,
here we go.
Listen, let me just say this. Okay, should Patrick Ewing feel some type of way? He absolutely should. But the fact that, how do I want to say this? Whenever New York have not been relevant for years. The most relevant thing that the Knicks have done was hire Phil Jackson, and he ran that place into the ground. Okay? Yeah. No one has talked about the Knicks since Carmelo Anthony. No one. And now that the Knicks are all of a sudden creeping into the playoffs that you think they have a shot in, Zeke, now all of a sudden Jim Dolan, is it Jim Dolan? Is he the owner?
It's not Jim, but it's Dolan. It's Dolan.
Timothy Dolan, one of them Dolans, right, are making it again about themselves, right? When no one talked about the Knicks, all of a sudden Charles Oakley got a problem getting in. when no one talked about the Knicks, Spike Lee had a problem getting in. Mm-hmm. Now that the Knicks are the subject of a playoff run, now somehow it's centered on Patrick Ewing, who was the poster of every Scottie Pippen dunk. This is not that big of a deal. Calm down, Pat. We know that you were good 25 years ago. Okay?
So, like I said, what have you done for me lately? That's cool. You're a
not
legend.
that big of a deal.
You
not
top
that
50.
big of a
You
deal.
top 50. You're a legend. We get all that. But don't think I'm supposed to be kissing your ass when you walk in this building.
I remember seeing.
It's not about kissing. It's not about kissing it.
What's it about then?
It's about showing some appreciation to it.
So
they retired his number. It's hanging up in the rack.
So that's all the more reason that you should recognize.
You had it right the first time. When a real nigga walk in the building, you gonna recognize him. When a real nigga walk in the building, all right, I see you. Okay, all right.
I mean, but let's also think about
Oakley. When Oakley walked in the building, real nigga. Oh, okay, I see you, Oakley. Okay, I see you.
But let's also remember, though, man, these were security guards. Some of the people that work in these stadiums don't know nothing about basketball.
I didn't even think about that.
Basketball.
This might be a generational
thing.
The
people that work now wasn't even born when Ewing was probably playing. Oh, I'm supposed to know who you are?
Yeah, you might have a good point. But
you
usually in those positions, though, it usually be an older person, so they should at least heard of them.
But it doesn't mean that they like basketball. Like, half the people that work at the Pfizer or at the old Bradley Center were people that were working for churches and doing fundraisers. They don't care nothing about basketball.
But you know what, though? It should be a memo coming down from the head of the organization, you know what I'm saying? Letting them know, guess who's going to be in the building tonight?
Hey, man, wear your badge, okay? Wear your badge, and then this wouldn't be a problem. Wear your freaking backstage pass, and it wouldn't be a problem.
That sounds like someone who has never played basketball before. And
it does.
And you know what I mean?
Because
when you've done what he's done for that organization, and at the time that he did it, you can at least recognize him when he comes in the building.
That doesn't mean you get a free backstage pass.
Everybody know he coaches Georgetown. When Georgetown come in the building, you automatically should know Ewing is in the building.
Did y'all see what they did to Kevin Hart when Philly won? They didn't let him on the stage.
Yeah.
So what? It is not. All I'm saying is respect the man for what he did, but this is not a big deal. Pat, you still getting checks.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, but
it's not a big
I still
deal.
want to put some respect on my man's name, though.
I think that
Call Scottie Pippen.
I think we're not.
Let's relive the 90s.
I think that it's one of those things where like it's probably not a big deal, but it's probably one of those things where like it hits your ego, and then also it's a combination of things. I think the main thing is that these security guards probably don't know you because they were in Pampers when you were doing your thing, and then on top of that, it's not like you walking in with a big ass ring on your finger. You're walking in with the Georgetown Hoyas, and I'm like, oh, you the coach? Oh, that's cool. I used to run this city. That's my jersey in the rafters. Okay, cool, sir. Can I see your
credentials?
Can I see your credentials, please?
And I don't think they're wrong for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Can I see your credentials, please?
You know what they should have said? Mr. Ewing, welcome back to Madison Square Garden. Go ahead.
There's a spot where Scotty dunked on you. There's a spot where Jordan put you out.
But what
playoffs.
about the spot? What about all the highlights where he done dunked on people or he done mixed you up?
Dunked on some people.
He had a mid range out of this world. Don't knock the brother because you ain't played basketball before.
Listen, I could have swore. I'm sorry.
Yes, I went there.
I was gonna say, did I miss your NBA debut? I'm just saying, like, did I miss your L1 mixtape? I'm just saying, but okay. Dre didn't play basketball. Okay, fine. America, I never played, but neither did they. Anyway, all I'm saying is Patrick Ewing is a superstar, or he was a superstar. Should he be shown the respect he deserved? Yes. But celebrities in America, if you ever listen to this, there is a chance that people may not know who you are.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's just the bottom line. Mistakes happen. I remember when Brandon Jennings used to shop at Best Buy. People didn't go running up to him because he was Brandon Jennings. They were just like, oh, okay, cool. Go shop. Do your thing.
I mean, the only difference between this is this, because I seen Brandon Jennings too, and I didn't even know who he was until I looked in his face.
There you go.
But he's like 6'2". Patrick Ewing is like 7'2", 7'1".
I know he was a baller.
So it's one of the things where, I agree everything Dre said. Every celebrity is not going to be recognized. People don't live their life for that, especially in big cities where you just walking around bumping into celebrities. But It is what it is. This has been another episode of 94 Feet Podcast. I'd like to thank my brothers again for joining me. Dre in the house.
Yo, what's good? What's good? Check us out at 94 Feet Podcast. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, Spreakers, and wherever you listen to your podcast. Download, share, comment, tell a friend.
All right, peoples, it was another good episode. Thank y'all for tuning in to 94 Feet. And shout out to my man, Big Pat. I believe in you still, Pat. Even though they forgot about you.
Where's your credentials, Pat? Show me your ID.
94 Feet, baby. Peace.
94 Feet, follow.
You would say what up?